It was August 2020, the Champions League quarter-final in a COVID-hit season. Man City faced off against Lyon and Pep played three at the back in that game. And while John Stones was fit and raring to go, Guardiola opted for the 35-year-old Fernandinho and a teenager in Eric Garcia to instead start the game. Man City were defeated, but perhaps no one could have been as distraught as John Stones. "It was the hardest moment in my career," he said. But if you have the personality of John Stones, no disappointment is ever big enough. Fast forward 3 years later, and John Stones is now one of the first names on the City team sheet as they become treble winners. So what has triggered such a redemption? How has John Stones turned around his Man City career? Let's find out. Keep watching. Starting off at his local club Barnsley, John Stones always looked like a talent that could go all the way in world football. And after making his debut at his home club as a 17-year-old, he continued to impress, earning himself a move to Everton as a 19-year-old. Everton spent just £3 million on the 6'2" centre-back, which would prove to be a shrewd investment in the near future. Even in his Everton early days, everyone could see the talent, a talent who was great on the ball and had impressive height, but had a mistake or two in his game. A nomination for the 2014 Golden Boy Award would have come as no surprise to Everton fans. And soon enough, the big fishes came calling. In the summer of 2015, Stones had 3 bids from Chelsea rejected for him by Everton, with the last being around £30 million. Stones was infuriated, handing in a transfer request at the time. But 1 year later, City and Pep Guardiola came calling, dishing out a whopping £47.5 million, making him the second most expensive defender in history at the time, just behind David Luiz. Interestingly, Barnsley received more than £6 million of the transfer due to a 15% sell-on clause, a sum they hadn't received even for a direct sale before that. It's never easy being a Pep Guardiola player. He never lets you get comfortable with his constant tactical tweaking and a ruthless longing to improve. He just has to win, with or without you. And John Stones would have known that from day one. Add to that the pressure of his price tag, and the odds were against him to succeed. A tough first year never crushed his spirits, with John Stones always aiming to work hard and improve his game. If you are as focused and as driven as I am, I don't think outside influences should have an effect. Whenever Pep was asked about Stones, he always backed his big-budget signing. City finished 3rd in the Premier League, Guardiola's lowest ever finish in 15 years as a manager, and for the first and last time, he failed to win a trophy, finishing 15 points adrift of eventual winners Chelsea. "John Stones has more personality than all of us here together in this room," he said. "More balls than everyone here. I like that. I love him. With all of his huge amount of mistakes, I love him. I love guys with this personality." But Guardiola did not exactly back up his words with actions, and the following January, City paid a club record fee of £57 million to sign Aymeric Laporte from Athletic Club. After Laporte's signing, Stones did not start a Premier League match for 4 months and only re-established himself in the team the following season, helped by Vincent Kompany's injury troubles. Guardiola always admired the on-the-ball quality of Stones and even tried him as a defensive midfielder much earlier in 2018. However, that experiment did not succeed, at least not at the time. Citizens would not forget the pivotal contribution of Stones to City's 2018-19 title win when he miraculously cleared Sadio Mane's shot off the line in an important showdown with Liverpool, which City won 2-1. However, during the 2019-20 campaign, he found himself an outcast again, starting only 12 league games, barely featuring in the domestic cups, and making a solitary appearance as a substitute in the Champions League. There was some talks of an exit circling, with Chelsea being long-term admirers and Arsenal also entering the fray. Stones, however, stayed put. "I never thought about that," Stones admits. "I think as soon as you accept that or you have that mindset, then you've killed yourself." The fighting spirit continued to remain a feature of Stones' career as the following season, the signing of Ruben Diaz prompted critics to think that it could be the end of Stones' City career. The summer of 2020 was truly make or break for Stones. With Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake coming in, there seemed to be no room for the England defender. And with all the easy exits like Chelsea and Arsenal set up, most players would have left City, but not him. And for Stones, it all started looking within. "I literally went back to firstly looking at myself, being super critical of myself and what I could do better on the football pitch, and then looking into every fine detail, down to food, what training, and what extras. Most fans noticed a much stronger stronger presence in recent years, who worked tremendously hard to first secure his place as centre-back and then move on to his current revolutionary role. He leapfrogged Fernandinho and Eric Garcia and later displaced Aymeric Laporte to become the first choice for Man City at the back. And besides his own will to improve, John Stones also credited his exceptional centre-back partner Ruben Diaz, who formed an exceptional pair with him right from the get-go. It was no surprise that the talented Nathan Ake had to move to left-back instead of playing his favoured centre-back position, with Diaz and Stones taking up the central positions. Football is all about partnerships, and for Manchester City, Stones and Diaz proved to be a match made in heaven, and once his future as a centre-back was secure, it was time for Guardiola to go one step further with him. You see, John Stones has always had an exceptional ability on the ball and was touted to become a midfielder growing up, and since Pep Guardiola wanted to use a sort of 3-2 formation in defence to ensure better control of games, he was on the lookout for a tactically astute presence in the midfield, and that was where Stones swooped in. With his new physical presence and his always known quality on the ball, he was the ideal man for the job, and unlike 4 years ago, he was ready to take on this opportunity. Every year, Guardiola takes up a unique project, and last season it was John Stones. It was his role as an inverted fullback that first dropped Kyle Walker to the subs bench, and later cost Calvin Phillips a run in the side. And no performance was as great a summary of his skills and prowess as the Champions League final itself. The culmination of an extraordinary redemption arc of John Stones came in the Champions League final. As City faced off against Inter Milan after blowing off Real Madrid in the semi-finals, they were hot favourites. But most players, including Stones, had received that tag just 2 years ago when they choked in a pivotal game against Chelsea. But that was not what happened this time around, and Stones was crucial to that. While Rodri ended up getting the Man of the Match award, it was Stones who truly shone in City's first ever Champions League triumph. Stones completed all 6 of his dribbles in the biggest game of the season. The only player to complete more dribbles in a Champions League final was Lionel Messi when he got past his opponents 10 times in the 2015 final against Juventus. Who would have thought that the lanky error-prone defender from Barnsley would be in the same conversation as Lionel Messi? As many of City's regular world beaters struggled to get into their stride, John Stones was at his absolute best, not misplacing a pass until the 40th minute. Starting off in his new 3-2 position role in front of the defenders, Stones went back to the fullback role in the second half, and the width that he offered was pivotal in creating doubt into wingback DeMarco, who left Bernardo Silva open to set up Rodri, who ensured City's first ever Champions League triumph. If there is something to learn from the story of John Stones, it's perseverance. Every year he was challenged with new players taking up his position and faced long spells on the sidelines, but instead of sulking, he fought, and he fought hard, and ultimately his hard work has paid off handsomely. If you ask us, the Barnsley Busquets is not done anytime soon and could be set for the best period of his career at the peak of his powers. So City fans, be excited, be very excited.